Welcome back. It's Garrett Simmons, Kid Money, coming at you live for the Club Car Championship in Savannah. As you can see, we have a special guest, Tour Junkies. Pat Perry, how are you, bud?
Man, I'm doing good. I appreciate you letting me come on your show, Garrett. Your show.
Don't forget it. Don't forget. You drinking tonight?
Yeah, I'm drinking a little Tito's tonight. I'm not going to get to Planet Tito's because after this, I got to record the Fantasy Golf Sommelier for Prize Picks. So I got to keep it a little light till I can drink that wine.
What's the deal with prize? You've been on kind of a prize pick bender, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been running pretty hot there with Prize Picks. You know, they've got they kind of make it easy for you. You don't have to put together all these lineups and stuff, or like DFS. You just pick overs and unders,
It's the
and
best. I've found like I do the five pickers, the five hitters, and you're
yep,
like, all right, shit, I only got four of them. Well, you're still gonna get paid.
still
Like,
getting
still
paid.
get three of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the five hitters. I think if you're starting out, go with five. If you hit all five too, I mean you make some bank. It's pretty good.
Right. Well, also you can throw in like the under of a women's college basketball game first half mixed with the over of Dustin Johnson's greens and regulations. I mean, you
Yeah.
can really get weird.
If you really know, yeah. If you can get weird. Like you can actually throw some like I think disc golf in there.
Yeah, I saw like Call of Duty, maybe like streaming or twitching or something like that.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, I'm coming at you at my office in Boone. I got Booneshine, local double IPA. Things might get weird by the end of the episode. I got more on deck here.
What's the test on that? How is that high test? Is that like
What's the grab?
6%, 8%, something like that?
Dude, double IPA. We're gonna be looking at more than that. We're looking at 8.3.
I
And
like
I'm
it.
halfway through this guy, so
Yeah, it's gonna get good tonight.
yeah. Well, we got a good show for you tonight. Obviously, Pat's coming down from the retirement community of the Landings, which is where the event is taking place. He's right around the corner, and he's going to give us a little bit of insight to how the golf course is looking. We also have a special guest sponsor invite this week, and he's going to come on here in a little bit. So you're going to hear a little bit from everybody, not just me, which is probably refreshing for most of your ears. Again, we're down in Savannah. This is a course that what is it, 3 or 4 years now, Pat? Fourth year?
Yeah, I think
Fourth year
it's,
around.
Yeah, fourth year here.
Historically, one of the favorites for the guys as far as course condition, hospitality. They come out of the woodworks. The volunteers, all 90 of the not even 90, probably all 600 of the retirement. They look forward. This is their favorite week of the year, driving their
Yeah,
carts around.
Yeah,
Volunteer city.
they feel very important with this.
Very best caddy breakfast of the year. They used to have Chick-fil-A. It was the one event of the year that I actually used to give. The players would come in and have breakfast with the caddies because they didn't have Chick-fil-A in the clubhouse. So props to the Savannah Championship and Club Car for putting it on. 7,200 yards, Bermuda all around. They do kind of have an overseed. Me and Pat were talking about it before the show. Historically, they've had an overseed that plays really tight. There's a lot of collection areas. Fazio course, no?
Yeah,
Fazio
exactly.
course.
Yep.
So a lot of collection areas that guys were putting that rolled that at a 10 plus. It sounds like this year there's a little bit of Bermuda peeking through that the overseed there, so you're not seeing as much of that tight tight stuff. We'll talk to our guest a little bit this week and see where he's at. He's obviously played the course a couple times this week. So yeah, Pat. Anything have you been on the golf course at all this week, or the past week, or what's it looking like down there?
Yeah, I have been out there the last week. Last week the greens were running a little bit slower than I've heard they're running now. I think they're running more, a lot quicker. I met with a caddy today, and he said they were about 12 maybe on the stump, so getting a lot quicker. And I think it'll get quicker as the week goes on. But the weather's going to be an interesting factor this week. I think we might get a little bit of a weather wave advantage for these guys because it's looking like it's going to be windy as hell for one on Thursday. I mean, I'm talking like 30-mile-per-hour gusts, but it looks like it lays down a little bit more in the afternoon, but that's also when the rain picks up.
Right.
But I still think maybe these afternoon start guys on Thursday might have a little bit of an advantage. We'll see how that plays out. But that's something to look at as far as what I'm seeing right now. But the course itself, I mean, it is, everybody I talk to that has played out there says it's probably in the best condition as it's been since they've had this championship here. So I'm excited to see what these guys do with it. They're still going to score out here, though. I mean, it's a Korn Ferry event. These guys should score. Right. The wind is going to lay down as the week goes on. But like it, you said that there's going to be some fast greens, but I do see that Bermuda creeping more through the oversea than I've seen in the past.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I remember my first year down there working. It was almost two separate events with the different waves. A ton of rain. I think it was the first year down there. A ton of rain in the mornings, and then as for those of you that aren't familiar, we're down in the Low Country, so same sort of Charleston kind of weather. You're getting stuff off the ocean, and the winds lay down. When the wind does lay down, you got in my opinion, what's worse than the wind is those damn no-see-ums. Stock those hats with dryer sheets. What are the bugs looking like this year?
The bugs are always
they're always there. They're always there. I always prefer. I'd rather have a stiff wind than be stagnant with no wind.
That's why you want the wind out there, because
you want the wind.
Bugs. Yeah.
I have found historically, you think a lot of times, okay, there's a lot of wind in the afternoon. Those guys are going to go low or go high. Yes. Also, though, the wind lays down probably, 5, 6 o'clock as the sun goes down. So those guys that get really late tee times, or if there's any sort of delay, the guys that can get out there and play from 5 to 7:30 or 5 to 8 or 6 to 8 usually are going to get no wind. So interested to see what's going on. But without further ado, let's bring in, we got a special guest on this week. It is a... I guess current player. We're going to find a little bit more about him. Sponsors invite this week. Has been around and played a lot of professional golf over the last few decades. Eric Flores. Let's bring him in. Eric, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? Decades, man. You're aging me. I'm not that old yet.
Well, decade. I mean, I just had to do a little due diligence on your PGA Tour profile. I saw 2011 was the last time you shot a golf ball in a competitive event. So I just didn't know what the deal was.
2014 was my last Korn Ferry start. Actually, I take that back. Last year, I played the Veritex in Dallas last year. But yeah, prior to that, I had a 7-year hiatus away from the game. I had an injury and a lot of life stuff going on, which if we'd like, we can get into. But so coming back and playing full time, it's been exciting and super pumped to get a start here this week at the Club Car.
Awesome. Where are you at now geographically?
I'm in Savannah. Sitting outside
Tequila
Town.
I just mean like where are you living?
I'm sorry. I'm from Charlotte, from California originally, Northern California, up by Tahoe.
Yeah.
Born and raised out in California, and then moved out to Charlotte 9 years ago. Actually, my second year on tour, moved out there. Just traveling out of the West Coast was not great, so went ahead and made the move. I'm loving Charlotte.
Awesome.
Nice. If you ever see somebody that looks just like me around Charlotte, it's not me. And so if that person just stares at you and with a blank face, acts like they've never seen you before, that's my twin brother. So he lives in Charlotte. So shout out. They call it, DB likes to call him DirecTV Perry. But I don't know. But Eric, I do appreciate you coming on. I got to give a couple things out here. First off, your Twitter is at Eric Flores PGA. Your Instagram is at Eric Flo. So you guys got to go out there and follow him. The most interesting thing, I think, is your relationship with Club Pro Guy. So we can get into that. But before we talk about anything else, we've just talked about the course this week a little bit. So I think while it's fresh in our minds, maybe give your opinion on what you're seeing already on this course. I know you played it last week, and so I think it's probably changed a little bit from last week versus this week, and just kind of what you're seeing with the course so far.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of touched on some of the points already. Course is in great shape. Obviously, it's my first year playing there, so I don't have too much comparative history, but it's playing pretty good. I mean, it's firming up a little bit. The greens are nice and quick. They'll definitely get faster. Everything's really nice. overseed, and there's some collar areas around the greens that are like legitimately probably running around 10.
Yeah.
So really, really tight around the greens. And, but like you guys said, the rain's coming in, it could totally change, and it could be a little bit more of a shootout, but it also depends on wind and everything else. But and the course is great. The par threes, I think, are the defense. There's a few good tee shots out there, but outside of that, the par threes, I think, are going to be where it's at.
Center of the green on 17.
I was about to say 17 is a great par three. It's a sneaky hard par three.
Yeah. Well, what's sneaky is that long left kind of. It doesn't look like it off the tee, but if it's short of pin high. If you got a back right flag, left of that is actually short, and you're in the you're in the marsh. You're done.
It's if you fly at middle of the green left, it's in the water or in the marsh. So my game plan there is just to hit it 5 steps on. That was what I told my caddy. So we're flying it 5 steps on. We'll take our chances with the putter. I'm a good putter, so like let's have a putting contest and take 5 or 4 out of the equation.
Right. What are we doing on? What are we doing on? What is it? 6, 5, 6, 7. The drivable par 4.
5.
Yeah. So we've been talking about that as well, and it's just in this weird. It depends where they put the tee, and
they change it. They bring it back and forth depending on the day.
Right. Exactly. Like if it's in a good solid 3-wood range, I like it. The problem is they put it back a little bit. You're kind of right in between where like you gotta carry the front edge because it's all water. It's a forced carry. So, but over the green is tough because you're chipping back into the grain as far as the collection area and the fairway goes. And well, I shouldn't say fairway because it's rough. It's dormant Bermuda into the grain, which is not fun. And then you're chipping down grain on the green. So it's not necessarily like you can just blow driver over the green and have an easy up and down. So
especially if it's downwind or a back flag, yeah.
Right, exactly. And if the greens are firm, again, depends. If it's soft, that might change things. But we've been talking just laying up every day. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm laying up the first 2 days. Just because like it's such an easy wedge shot from that right side. You got World over there to hit, 4 iron over there and give yourself a nice yardage, and you're hitting back into the grain up the hill. So it's just going to stop on a dime. Like there's no pin that you can't stuff it in. So again, easier shots than going long.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, I used to tell people all the time, it's like, man, it's not worth sweating over because the wind changes every day. They set the tees up. You have this strategy. You go to bed with a strategy and you wake up and you're like, oh, the tees are 70 yards up and it's a different wind or whatever it is, or this is where you don't know where the pin is until maybe the night before. And so all those things kind of change. And, it's a great hole. They have that thing like set up and
for the week too. So there'll be pressure to go for it. I'm sure you'll get booed if you don't go for it, but I think it'd be funny this is just my own inside joke with myself, but like if you just laid up every day but still win the golf tournament,
I mean, that'd be a non-sexy way to do it, but
what's the strength to your game? And then, what do you think, like, as far as the way this course plays out, like what's the type player that it lends itself to?
Well, strength of my game's been putting really since I've come back. I used to be a longer hitter. I'm still a pretty long hitter, I guess. Like I was top 10, I think, in distance back when I was playing full time before. And now I'm probably top 30. I don't know, nothing crazy. I wouldn't consider myself a bomber, but short game is solid. And driving the ball has been really nice for me. So that's always a good combination. As far as this week goes, I think, man, it's just going to come down to a lot of short, not super short iron, but your short mid irons out there, because there's a lot of dog legs. You can't just overpower the course and hit driver everywhere. There's a lot of 3-woods off tees, and you got to kind of place it a little bit. But other than that, I mean, making putts, I mean, you got to make putts to win golf tournaments. So I'm going to focus on that. Just give myself good looks.
Prediction for the winning score.
Man, if the weather is cooperating, we don't get anything super crazy. Sorry, my light just came off in this car. But if we don't get anything super crazy, I haven't really looked at years past, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna go 15 to 18. If the weather gets bad, I like 10 to 12.
Yeah, no, that's realistic. I mean, in the
Yeah.
past, if we had a little bit of weather, this isn't one of the events that can be a little bit lower with when that wind picks up with the fast greens and the collections and the runoffs. And no, I would say the same thing. I agree.
Yeah.
Cool, Eric. Well, what give us the cliff notes of kind of your story. You talked a little bit about being from California. If I'm not mistaken, UCLA. Am I correct, or Cal?
UCLA, definitely not Cal. But I will say the Bruins. So the Cal is the Bears, and
Right.
The Bruins are a female bear. We're actually a sister school of Cal, so we have the same fight song. A lot of people don't know that, but no, UCLA all the way. Bleeding blue for sure.
Cool. And had a good amateur. Did you stay all 4 years? Jump right into pro golf after, or how did that all start?
No, I stayed all four. Was a 3-time All-American in college and Pac-10 back when it was Pac-10 freshman of the year, and made the Palmer Cup team, and got up to number 5 in the world amateur rankings before I turned pro, and yeah, I had a really nice amateur and college career, and I think had a lot of expectations for professional golf, and it just didn't work out that way for me. So that's why I'm giving it another run. But yeah, I mean, I had a great junior and amateur career, and we won the NCAA title at UCLA as a team, which was awesome. So yeah, a lot of great memories there.
Sweet. Awesome.
How did you get hooked up with Club Pro Guy? Because I know you got CPG on the bag, so I need to hear something about Club Pro Guy, because we got a little relationship there. We've had him on the show before, and we know a little bit more of the backstory than most probably know. But what's your angle there with old CPG?
Well, I can't confirm nor deny any rumors out there, but let's just say he may or may not have known some family members of mine back in his Mexican mini tour days.
Hopefully it wasn't Brandy.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was Brandy. I don't think it's Brandy. No, we have some mutual friends, and I've enjoyed his stuff. I mean, obviously, if you know Club Pro Guy, like, his stuff's genius to me. I mean, it's just incredible. So I've been a fan of his. We have a mutual friend, and just kind of worked out with one of my sponsorships. My bag is a Jarrito sponsor, which is a Mexican soda brand, and just kind of worked out where partnering with Club Pro Guy, I have the 3 Jack National on the bag. I'm an ambassador and an honorary, playing member. And so we just kind of partnered together with that. He's always got his Mexican brands that he loves. So it just kind of was a match made in heaven, so to speak.
Good deal. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, Eric, we appreciate you coming on with us. I know it's a busy week for you, and it's an important week for you, and so we're pulling for you, man. We hope things go well, and just think about this show when you get to number 5 and you want to get a little crazy, and there's a little bit of a win that you may not should hit that and go for it. Maybe just remember, all those people drinking beers on 5 don't control your career. Okay, you can just
absolutely not, dude.
I'm gonna lay up.
I'm going to stay focused. And again, super great opportunity this week, and hoping to make the most of it, and just enjoy competing again. So
good deal.
Yeah,
awesome, Eric. Great to see you. Who you got looping for you this week?
I've got a good friend, Charlie McCord. He's the club champion at our home club, Trump Charlotte, nice. Up on the lake there. And he's a good player. Just got a good, really calm demeanor about him, and he caddied for me in the Big Money Classic last fall or whatever, winter, and so we came down together, and he's been really, really loving it. So yeah, I got a solid guy in the bag, and a good team around me, and it's just been awesome like I said before, coming back to play and having some people rally around me has been really great for me. So
yeah,
I was excited to be back in it.
Awesome. Well, Eric, it's great to meet you virtually. Hopefully, we can. I'm a little bit north up in Winston and in Boone, so maybe we can tee it up soon. But
absolutely, man, come down to the lake. Would love to see you. And I'm in the restaurant business on the side.
Oh, nice.
One of the things I was doing when I wasn't playing. So we got a spot called Vana down there. Shameless plug. Got him on my shoulder. If you can see.
Hell yeah, that's the kind of shit we like.
There
Let's
we
go,
go.
baby.
Self-represented. But no, it's a great spot down in South End. We've got another one coming in up by the lake this summer. It's all wood fired and tomahawk steaks and awesome stuff. Open kitchen. So come
Awesome.
down and see us. We'd love to see
Awesome.
you.
Great, Eric.
Well,
I'll probably see you out there too. I'll be out there some this week, so I'll holler.
Pat will be out there with the rest of the AARP
That's right. Yeah,
guys floating around in their club cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good, man. Well, Pat, Garrett, really appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. Be good, Eric. Have a good week.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
Eric.
Alrighty, that was Eric Flores. Do you think he was? I don't know if he was offended by the 2011 decade comment, but
No, I think
he'll
you
be
got
back.
to
He'll
do
be
that.
back.
You got to
He'll
do
be
that
all right.
stuff.
We'll
I mean, I'm
probably
not
give him a little
offended
bit
by
of
all
shit.
your old age comments that you threw my way, Garrett.
Well, that's not really. I mean, that's objective. I mean, you're old as shit.
I mean, look here. I mean, I may live in a retirement community, but don't let that fool you here, okay? I mean, look how young I look.
Diana said, "I hope he wins enough cash to get a flashlight." And when I first read that, I thought it said, "Hope he wins enough cash to get a flashlight."
Yeah, the lighting was not good. You know, whenever we have, you know, it's the same that it happens on our show too. I mean, they don't think about lighting, you know.
DB wants pics. He forgot bug spray. Ain't doing it for him. He wants to know if I'm in a high school classroom. I might be, DB. I don't know where I'm at. But all right, let's get to the picks. We got a record number of people watching tonight. They're still stay tuned for the picks. Pat's gonna stay on for them. Let's start with the favorites. Again, call it shot in the dark. We don't have these fancy matchups and top 10s and top 5s and miscut, make cut that DB and Pat have to work with and deal with. That being said, you guys have been kind of solid, especially you and your outright winners this year.
Yeah, it's been a good run. It's been a good run. We've had a little bit of a dry spell here for the last 3 weeks, but look, it's freaking betting outrights on golf. It's not that easy.
It's not that easy. That being said, we're gonna hit one this week, so let's get it up. Let's start going. Favorites 50-1. It's a guy I haven't picked yet this year. Oklahoma State guy. Do I have to say any more about Oklahoma State? I don't think so. Those guys are winners. Austin Ekro coming in at 50-1. I think this is going to be a guy that we see on the PGA Tour that we talk about saying, hey, remember when he was on the Korn Ferry Tour? Had some PGA Tour starts, has played well, has some stats this year, so I like him coming in at 50-1. Another favorite I like this week is Ben Taylor at 41-1. An English guy, on and off the PGA Tour, doesn't hit it forever, but as Eric was talking about earlier, it is a golf course that you don't need to bomb it. It is a lot of dogleg, strategic. The par threes are tough. If you look at some of the past winners, it's not guys that are bombing it out, out the park. So I like Ben Taylor to come in and get a little dub. He's no stranger to victory down here on the Korn Ferry Tour. Has won down here. So I like Ben Taylor. Mid-range, to be honest, I like this guy maybe better than some of my favorites because I think he's more of a favorite. I like Dan McCarthy to win again this year. He's won in the past. Again, another guy who's been knocking on the door, edged out Scotty Scheffler, who, if some of you might know, is now the number one player in the world. Edged him out to win by one a couple years back. A hell of a putter. Eric talked about the importance of putting down here. So I like Dan McCarthy this week at 70-1. Another guy that I've picked in the past that I will probably continue to pick, that I will be willing to bet a lot of my personal assets on that he will win this year, is Kevin Dory. And if I think someone's going to win this year, I'm going to bet him every week because the odds are going to be in that favor. He's coming in at 70-1. Has played good here in the past. A couple top fives.
I was about to say, I think he's played well here. If
very well in the past. Had a good talk to Greg. Had Greg his caddy on last week, and we talked about talked about him playing well right now. He had a tough Sunday down in Savannah or down in Louisiana the second week, but he's playing well and has played well here in the past. So I like Kevin this week at 70-1.
Let me ask you this real quick, backing up a little bit. So my boy Scott Brown from Aiken, South Carolina, buddies with kids. He's 41-1 on FanDuel. Right there next to Ben Taylor. So now, I think he could be a good play, but here's my question. These guys like Scott, who are used to playing on the tour, okay? I mean, he's been a regular tour player for the last few years. He's kind of run, not so good lately, and so he's playing an event, that's – I mean, how do they look at that, like these guys? Do you think they look at it as, they're having to take a step back, they're playing a Korn Ferry event, Is he the class of this field, or do you think he just doesn't like? How bad does he want to be there? And I mean, I don't know. Like I kind of like wonder about guys like Scott Brown.
Yeah, and I wonder the same. Great. I think there's a fine line. So I think the guys that have PGA Tour status now that aren't getting all the starts, the guys that have an active card, maybe they're rookies, maybe they're 1 or 2 years. I think they have a little bit more fire under their ass because they're like, hey, I'm going to come down here. I got something to prove. I'm going to get more stars. I'm going to come down here and win on this Korn Ferry Tour. It's like playing pickup basketball. It's like it's like being a D1 athlete and coming back and play pickup basketball with your high school over Christmas break. Some of these older guys, though, I think you're right. I think you deal with like, the Sean O'Hares, the Scott Browns, the Camilo Villegas, these guys that are like, man, it's not going to change my life if I win a Korn Ferry Tour event. Sure, do I want to play well? It's more of kind of like I view those guys as kind of like David Ortiz getting sent down to the minors to rehab from an injury. It's like, I don't need to hit 4 home runs in a minor league event. I just want to get some competition, see where my game's at. So, again, do I think like one of these guys can come out and win? Absolutely. We've seen it in the past. They're all professionals. But I always like to stay away from these kind of more veteran PGA Tour guys that, they're still going to be able to pay their mortgage payment next month if they don't play well at the Korn Ferry event. It's some of these younger PGA Tour guys that have maybe partial status, that feel like they have something to prove, that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulders. But that's just me.
No, I tend to agree with that, and that's kind of where I was going. I mean, I do think the way Eric described the course, and obviously I've played it several times. I mean, I think Scott Brown is a guy that has a good game for it. But I don't know, if I would take him as an outright, because I just don't know how much fire he's got to win. But
and it also depends on the mindset. Like, some of these guys think they can come down and it's just like, yeah, whatever, we're going to play, whatever. It's like, and they don't respect the actual talent game that some of these, that they have down here. Other guys are like, okay, these guys are just as good. I'm going to treat this as a, PGA Tour event. And so who knows? I mean, Scott Brown obviously is a, hell of a player, has, illustrious career, and is no stranger to kind of being from not the Low Country, but that whole area. So
yeah.
We'll see.
He's from nearby, so I'll be interested to see what he does. Anyway, carry on.
Where was I? Long range, 80-1 to 125-1. First guy I really like. He's been playing well as of late. Another guy with a very illustrious amateur career. Has played a little bit on the PGA Tour. Has also played well here. Curtis Luck, Australian. No stranger to the wind. No stranger to being creative around the greens. Is some of the best hands I've ever seen in person, PGA Tour or not. I like him coming in at 70-1. Again, these are all FanDuel odds. The only odds we have out this week. So Curtis Luck, 70-1. Another guy I like, call him a little bit of a dark horse, has been kind of, his status has been up and down, has had a good year so far, and as well as last year. I like Stewart Mcdonald coming in at 75-1. He actually holds, I don't know if it's been broken. He's got the course. He set the course record here about 3 years ago, shot 63 during the bad wave and the rain. The first or second year the event was down here. So he's got good vibes down here, and he's also been playing a little bit better as of late in the last year or two. So I like Stewart Mcdonald coming in at 75-1. Another long ranger I like, who again has been coming off a nice last couple of weeks, has won on the Korn Ferry Tour, has played on the PGA Tour, is a veteran, so to speak, down on the Korn Ferry Tour, is Anders Albertson. Another guy who, again, doesn't hit it forever, but ball strikes the heck out of it, can putt it, can roll it, can hit it straight, has a good head on his shoulders, and I like him coming in at 80-1. As far as bombs, I like to pick a bomb a week. It's hard to turn down some of these guys at 150-1, but I like my guy Josh Creel. Again, another guy who's won on the PGA Tour. He fits that category, Pat, that we talked about kind of having that PGA Tour status, back and forth, being hungry, not feeling like he's above playing on the Korn Ferry Tour, but also having that confidence that he can play and do it. Again, a Southern guy, I believe he's got at least one or maybe two top fives down here in Savannah, so he's a regular down here on the top of the leaderboard down here. So I like Josh Creel. My bomb 150-1. Anybody else on the board, Pat, that you like? I'm not going to take half credit for in case they win, but
no. Here's the thing. I was just going to let you do a lot of the picks, but I felt like as you were talking, I was like, I got to give one pick for the people here. So this one dates back to a lot of TJ followers, and they're going to know who I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go with. And I have no real reason to go with this guy other than he's just got he's got a little TJ love from the past, and I don't know how he's been playing. But that is Will Gordon at 100-1. Now, Will Gordon is affectionately known as Taco Supreme in the Nut Hut. So if you're not in the Nut Hut, by the way, you need to get in there. Go to the Tour Junkies site. Just go to our chat. You can get in the you can get in the premium chat of the Nut Hut. But Will Gordon is known as Taco Supreme. And here's why that is. So if you ever go to Taco Bell, all right, it looks so good. Like you think it's gonna taste really good, okay? And that's what Will Gordon does. Like you look at his stats, he's like always like showing up in approach and ball striking and all those kind of things. And then you have that Taco Bell, you eat that Taco Bell, and then when it's coming out, it doesn't come out really, really all that good. It's kind of nasty. Some things can happen. You never know what's going to happen. You never know, because sometimes Taco Bell can be good and you're not affected in any way, which is kind of how Will Gordon is. And so I'm going to play Will Gordon this week. I think at 100-1, we can put a little Taco Supreme out there on the card. So that's the only play I'm going to give you, Garrett.
I like that. I mean, I think he was a first round leader last week or the week prior. I obviously was late to the party, didn't know about the Taco Supreme Nut Hut inside joke. I am historically, a partial big proponent of Taco Bell, and it usually ends pretty well for me.
Well, that's good.
If that's the case, or if that has any indication of Will Gordon, then I like him this week. Love his former caddy Don Donatello. Yeah, I'm all in for Will Gordon. I guess I can't throw him on that pick. I guess Pat's gonna have to get credit if he gets the dub. But in that case, he'll be back for the next week until he doesn't get a winner. But well, that's all I got, Pat. I don't know if there's anything else you want to give the few listeners that are still left. I appreciate you coming on and wasting a little bit of your Tuesday Tito time.
Hey, happy to do it. About to get on here, and as soon as we can get you off of here, I'm going to jump in here and do the fantasy golf sommelier for prize picks. So. Yeah,
well, keep those screens greens and screens greens. Wow, the double IPA, baby. I'm gonna be a little loose after one.
That happens to me with with Planet Tito's, buddy.
Loose after one, no dinner. Anyway, great to see you, Pat. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it down to Augusta for a couple days next week, and we'll have a time next week. Stay tuned, guys. Again, Nut Hut, subscribe, 5-star, like, do all that shit. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. See you.
Oh.